Okay, let's jump into some game testing now. I'm not going to do this with game capture. I thought about it, but one of the biggest selling features of this laptop is the OLED screen. So we're going to use the OLED screen. And of course, that way you can better hear the actual machine acoustics and all that kind of stuff, because it's a gaming laptop. It's not a gaming desktop. This game is very, very, very hard to run. Very hard to run. Whether it's optimization or just the game itself, it doesn't matter. So we're going to come in here. We'll go up to full resolution. So the game maxes out at 120. You just can't go any higher than that. We'll see how that works out for us. We can turn off VSync VRR. We're going to go with VRR. We're going to turn this thing up to max. So highest dynamic resolution scaling. We're going to start with it off, so no scaling whatsoever. We do have access to DLSS, which is fine. We'll just see how it performs here. We're in balanced mode. Okay, so here we go. Specs on the machine. RTX 5080. Intel 275HX, 32 gigabytes RAM on this one. That's normal pop-in. We're just going to do a little sweep here. That's game engine. It's just not optimized well. And you can see here at 1440p max settings, no scaling, easy 80 or 75, I guess. We will get occasional hitch-in. When we go up here, we'll probably see one. That's just texture pop-in. The game is horribly optimized. There should be one here. No, maybe not. Yeah, there was one right there. We'll probably get one more as we go through here. Yep. Texture pop in. We can reset, you'll see. Just to get the... I mean, the game is the game. It doesn't matter what the hardware you're on. And this is balance mode, remember, right? So 93 watts only. The GPU can go much higher. Very playable. No need for scaling whatsoever. We'll go up to performance mode here. You can see there we're dumping a ton more watts into the GPU. 150, 160. 160 is peak for this. It has dynamic power, so it'll share between the CPU and GPU. In a game like this where it's GPU heavy, very GPU heavy, the CPU can basically lend some wattage over. You can hear the laptop is considerably noisier. Still, honestly, relatively quiet for a performance mode gaming laptop with this type of spec. But you'll definitely get more fan noise. Lots of VRAM there, 10 gigabytes, 11 gigabytes, so we have lots of overhead to work with. Go down to silent mode here. We will see a considerable drop in performance, but it's still very playable, right? The 5080, just like last generation, is serviceable and very reasonable at 60 to 70 watts. You really don't want to go below that. Getting below 60 watts, it'll choke quite a bit. But 70 watts is feasible, as you can see here. Right, and again, this is no scaling, so you could come in here and you could just add a little bit of scaling on silent. I would just play, but you can just see how performant this laptop is, even on silent mode. We can put in a little bit of scaling because this game does have DLSS, thankfully. At least it has something. Right, big jump there. An extra 20 to 30 frames on silent mode. So a lot of the time, I'm not going to do this for every single game, silent mode performance and balance, but we're going to start the video with it to really show what you can do here. Right, the fact that you can play with these modes, performance modes, and you really want your laptop to be super quiet. In the near future, 2025, probably even 2026, you're not going to have any issues with a 5080 running on silent mode. Okay, so we'll do 4K rather than doing game capture and setting it up every single time. It takes hours to do that if I do that properly. So we'll just go like this. It's fine. I mean, we're not judging my screen here. And we can see the performance there again with that little bit of scaling. So that's 4K now. VRR, still we're at 120. We have that little bit of scaling. We can try turn that off in a sec, but let's just try it with a little bit of scaling here. So we can see here what we're getting. Get that in focus there. 4K now with 66% scaling DLSS, performance mode, and again, easy 100. So we dropped off around, well, we don't know what we got because of the game engine limitations, but we were at 120 max on 1600p, and now on 4K we're at about 85, so it makes sense. All right, very good performance here. Okay, now we're going to do Black Myth. This is going to be a game where the OLED really shines. You can see the contrast there. 1600p, it's fine. VSync off so we can get the max frames. But we're on, okay, we'll start, I guess, essentially maxed here. So we're going to go DLSS on 50, so we're at half that resolution, so whatever. That's fine. That's there. Frame gen on. We do have full ray tracing on very high with cinematic. So basically the game maxed, but we do have some DLSS and frame gen on. So let's see what we can get. Right off the bat, it's fantastic. Frame gen is fine as long as your base performance is good. Like you really do want to be at like 50 or 60 to start it. Once you get that out there, then you're usually not going to notice too much lag. And DLSS has come a long way. All right, fantastic, actually, to be honest, fantastic. 1600p. Let's actually turn down the scaling slightly because we can. I don't necessarily think we need to be that high. Turn that up. Let's go 75. It's going to threaten us, but that's okay. Yeah, and you're still over 60. I wouldn't probably turn down much more because then your base before frame gen is going to be really low, and it might feel a little weird. You might get a little bit of artifacting, a little bit of input delay. Look at that screen too. Wow. It really does make a big difference, honestly. I mean, we can try it without any DLSS, but you're going to be really playing with fire there. Let's go just let's just max it. We still have frame gen on, and we'll do the opposite. We'll turn off frame gen and turn on scaling because people have different technologies they like. Yeah, so you see now you're turning it off. Now the frame base is low and the game looks weird because the base before frame gen is too low and it looks funny. So you don't want to do that. When you have frame gen on, you typically want to have a better base frame than that. Otherwise, it's going to look like crap. So what I would do is I'd turn off frame gen and just turn on more scaling. Scaling looks better than frame gen, to be honest. But sometimes you can, put them together. It all depends what you're looking for. But for me, I'm fine in this game with frame gen, but if you really don't want it, here's just scaling. 50% DLSS, absolutely no frame gen. Right, very good. 4 max, the game's maxed. And now what we're gonna do is we'll start playing with the settings. So we'll come down, we'll turn it down to very high. We can turn down the ray tracing. I don't think we're gonna have to reboot from this one. No, we are not. So now we're on just a slightly lower setting there. That's a better frame rate there. Still looks a little weird. Frame gen can be a little weird sometimes. Performance is good though, to be honest, actually. So let's kick out of ray tracing now. Yeah, so 4K with 50% scaling on very high with no frame gen or anything like that. You can use it if you want. You can use frame gen, but I only like frame gen, like I said, if the base performance is high. Okay, a little Cyberpunk. Let's get it rolling. So we're at 1600p to start here. That's good. The internal screen. Apparently we're on ray tracing, so we'll start with ray tracing, so we don't have to restart the game. So we'll go ray tracing ultra to give it a start there. We do have the transformer model, so obviously we're going to use it. We can crank it, honestly, because it looks so good. Let's just put it on balance for now, though. So ray tracing on ultra. Let's start heavy, I guess. Boom, look at that. Do we have frame gen on? That's really high. Just one sec. Okay, we do have, no, we don't have frame gen on. Okay, sweet. Frame gen off, transformer model. I mean, the DLSS is getting pretty good. Ray tracing ultra. Come on. It's a laptop. What more do you want? No frame gen. And it's only balanced transformer model. Easy 60 on ray tracing. Not overdrive yet. I always use scaling because it's getting so good now. I find that, and I think it was it hardware? Who was it? Hardware Unboxed? Someone, like yesterday, basically showed that in some cases, might have been Digital Foundry, showed that in some cases, hardware scaling on the lightest actually looks better. It was Gamers Nexus. Actually looks better than native in some games, and actually a lot of games. So like a lot of times you just throw it on. It shouldn't, but it does. Because you get natural anti-aliasing and other advantages too. So yeah, that's crazy. All right, come in here. Oh man, okay. So 65 without frame gen. So you can add frame gen and get 120 or something. We can try it. We'll do it in a minute. Look at that. That's just quality. Just the game ultra now, like normal ultra, non-ray tracing. And I mean, which is quality scaling because I like it. I think it looks better. Look at that CPU power. Man. You can see that the system is designed to really hit the CPU and the GPU. It's letting us do that. It's letting us hit 90 watts on the CPU because Cyberpunk is very CPU heavy, and it's still letting us get 150 to 160 on the GPU. Okay, 4K now. We are going to do it with a little bit of frame gen because I felt like it. So we're at speedometer units. We're at 4K. We do have frame gen 4 time. Okay, well, I mean, we have it, right? It's the new new 5000 tech. So we're going to show it off. So we have frame gen there. We are on just ultra, normal ultra. We do have performance, but again, we're at 4K, so it's fine. So this is, I mean, we're pretty jacked up on NVIDIA technologies right here. 4 times frame gen and performance scaling at 4K on ultra. And yeah, let's see what happens here. I mean, it's a lot of frames. Look at the GPU. 166 watts. All right. I guess the CPU is just really not getting hit hard right now, and so the GPU is like, yeah, I need all of them watts, bro. 200 frame. I mean, come on. Let's turn it up because, I mean, we have all this stuff on. So we'll come in here. We're going to go ray tracing ultra now. We'll try it with that scaling turned way up. I mean, yeah, we have access to these brand new techs that NVIDIA puts their name on, so look at that. Frame gen on, 4 times frame gen, scaling on performance. If you know anything about DLSS, you know that performance DLSS 4 is basically as good as quality DLSS 3, so it's actually really good. And I concur with what I've seen so far. And yes, I have another 5000 series GPU. In fact, I've had several. I mean, we have frame gen on, so it's not like we're going to tank frames here. It didn't make any difference whatsoever, so I guess turn it off or turn it down. Get a slightly more native experience. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty damn good. Okay, let's see a little bit of artifacting behind that paper. It's getting confused. The frame gen's getting confused by the paper. That's funny. I hope that showed up on camera. Frame gen isn't always good, NVIDIA. It can be good, but it can also be weird. Okay, so now we're down to 1440p. This might freak out. Let's see here. Video. Yeah, it doesn't know what the heck is going on. So we'll go 1600p. So 1600p, I guess 4 times frame gen, quality scaling on ray tracing. Ultra, again, still, same thing. We're going to get bazillion. Yeah, like just a huge jump in performance there. I wonder if we'll still get that weird... Yeah, you can still see the ghosting behind the paper. That's funny. Yeah, so frame gen, I mean, you can use it, but just be aware there will be some weird stuff like that. That's the only place I'm seeing artifacting right now is the paper, where the algorithm is just like, what the hell do I do with this paper? Right, none of these cars have trailers, but just be aware of that. Okay, so we're in Assassin's Creed Shadows. This game's going to look fantastic on an OLED because shadows, right? The settings here are really high, by the way. So we'll come in here, see where we're at. I think I just have the lightest scaling. So we're at 1600p, no frame gen, no dynamic res. Where's frame gen? Yeah, no frame gen, just the lightest scaling. And the reason I did that is because we're at really high settings here. So I put it to very high, which turns up everything, including ray tracing, way up. Right? It's very, very, very high. We have lots of free RAM. It's not going to be an issue on this GPU. And that's an excellent performance right there. So you're looking at basically 60 or slightly over 60, no frame gen, just the lightest scaling on a very high setting, which is excellent. This game is hard to run, but it runs well, meaning it makes sense that it runs how it does. Huge jump. We went from like 55, 58 up to 78, 80, so 20 frames. So that's like, what is that, 30, 40% increase, something like that. It's very good. So just throw on the lightest scaling and you're actually cooking, to be honest. Very GPU heavy, as you can see there. CPU is just kind of vibing. I don't remember how to play. Oh, that was... I got stopped by a lantern. I was too far away. Because of the lantern. Just die, bro. Yeah. Carry. Get out of here. Go back right where you were. Yeah, so I mean, that's that. You can turn up scaling. It's fine, honestly. This is the type of game I'd be more than happy just to play with this kind of FPS here. No frame gen, just the latest amount of scaling. I think it's actually pretty good, honestly. Yeah, you'll be fine. You could turn up a little... Okay, turn up a little bit more scaling, throw frame gen on, do all that kind of